Alrighty, hello everybody. Today I'm going to be playing Don't Starve Together. We are going to be playing as Maxwell because he's a dapper lad. And I'm going to be rushing the ruins. If you don't know what the ruins are a place. Yeah, the ruins are a place. What am I talking about? The ruins are an area in the caves of Don't Starve, and they are one of the most dangerous areas in the game, but they also provide some of the best loot in the game. I will be talking as we go along, but I'm not going to get into all the nitty-gritty of the ruins. If you want to get a really comprehensive guide, I'd recommend watching Jakiosaurus. He's kind of who I use to learn about a lot of this game and how to ruins rush as well. I'll leave his ruins rush tutorial and whatever else I think might be useful in the description too. Anyway, now I'm going to let Editor Schlorgen take over. Let's go! God, that guy's really annoying. Hey, it's Editor Schlorgen here. So now you can see me running around collecting twigs and grass, which is pretty much what you should do at the start of any new Don't Starve world. Just collect that until you get a stack of each. You can also see on screen that I'm using my Codex Umbra, which is a Maxwell exclusive item that you start with. It has 4 different abilities, and I'll get to each of them as they come up, but right now I'm just using my Shadow Servants to help me collect stuff faster. Quick harvesting is especially important while ruins rushing because we are on a time crunch. The reason we're on a time crunch is because, well, it's called a ruins rush, and the goal is to get into the ruins, get all the loot we need, and to get back out before winter starts. The reason you want to get back out before winter starts is because the cold of winter and being in the caves do not mix well together. You also want to be able to do everything you need to do on the surface during winter, like get a walking cane, fight deer clops, fight Klaus, etc. Now, rushing the ruins isn't an essential part of having a good DST world, but it is an essential part of boss rushing, and it's a good skill to pick up if you do want to get better at the game, because it's just going to overall increase your ability to kite, time manage. It helped me gain a bunch of map knowledge and a bunch more things that I'm probably going to regret not mentioning after I've edited this video. Here we had Hasburger join our game, which was a little bit of a setback, so I'm just gonna run this back. Alright, good job, past Schlorgen. I don't know why I rolled back the whole world. That wasn't really necessary, but whatever. So we spend about half of the first day just running around collecting twigs, grass, berries, all the normal stuff, until I spy with my little eye a little wormhole, so I hop into that real quick. After that amazing journey, I come out the other end in Dragonfly's Desert and narrowly escape death from 2 clockwork bishops. Ow, 40 health lost there. Other one missed me somehow. But we got 2 gears out of it, so, you know, worth. It's no biggie, we just eat up some butterfly wings and we're good as new. This also brings me to Maxwell's main downside, which he is frail, meaning he has 75 health, which is the lowest health in the game, and is actually the same amount of health as the challenge character, Wes. But his utility and damage potential, I think, more than make up for the downside of his low health. Plus, it's not really too big of a deal if you're just always wearing armor anyway, which most of the time in this game you should be wearing armor. That's not to say you can't get cucked by his low health sometimes and end up dead. But anyway, here I smash this big old rock and avoid these crusty old bats by hopping into the sinkhole. And of course, while I'm down here, I grab some light bulbs and say hello to some bunny men. I need these light bulbs to make a lantern, which will be crucial for our survival in the ruins. So after running for my life from some bats, I discover the rocky land biome. This is perfect because I can get some much needed rocks and gold for a science machine, then alchemy engine. While up here, I also come across this little graveyard set piece that I don't think I've seen before. Gravestones are great for getting blue and red gems early on, which is perfect for us because we can get purple gems. Purple gems can be used for crafting magic items in mid to late game, and are also used to make some really important items in the ruins with the ancient pseudoscience station. So I dig up a bunch of graves with my shadow servants to avoid sanity loss, but the thing is I never actually use the gems I get here, so this was kind of pointless. To be honest, I don't think it's worth it to spend time getting gems on the surface because you're pretty much guaranteed to get some gems while you're in the ruins, and the only gem you need for crafting in the ruins is a purple gem, which you can get guaranteed from the clockwork bishops. Fantastic. After all of that grave digging and that little bat fiasco, we chop down some trees for some wood. I will input that the reason the trees are getting highlighted like that is because I'm using Action Q Reborn, which is a mod I highly recommend. After this video comes out, I'll probably make a video of mods that I highly recommend for new and just players in general, honestly, because some mods in this game add things that I'm honestly surprised just haven't been added to the base game, but whatever. Praise the Steam Workshop. So I finally get a science machine down and make myself a shovel and a backpack. Backpack for more space, obviously, and a shovel mainly so we can dig up blue mushrooms, which will be my main source of food and healing while going through the ruins. As you can see here, I'm also prototyping an alchemy engine so I can make myself a lantern as well as a handbat. Lantern so I can see in the caves because I won't be using moggles because they are super expensive to make and they take up way too much time to be making for ruins rushing, in my opinion. A lot of people don't like going into the ruins without moggles, which is understandable because, as you'll see later, this kind of sucks without moggles. But I still think a lantern is best because of the time and resources that it takes to make moggles. If you're not ruins rushing, then I think moggles are best. So now I'm just hammering these pig heads next to the touchstone for some good old pig foreskin, which I'll be using to make a bunch of football helmets as well as handbats. Speaking of bats, I hate these bats so much. Batalisk, stupid pieces of shit. So after I run from those bats, I find another sinkhole and introduce some new bats to my world. Hooray. So I decide to hop down the sinkhole and oh, just by luck, I found a blue mushroom biome, which is exactly what I wanted to find. The reason I wanted to find this biome is 1, for blue mushrooms for healing, and 2, because it connects to the Lunar Grotto, which is pretty much the best consistent way to get living logs in the game, other than of course tree guards, but early on chopping down a bunch of trees for tree guards can be really annoying, even with Maxwell. And at the end of the day, it's luck based, whereas getting living logs from the Lunar Grotto isn't, thanks to the little mush gnomes that spawn. So after that lovely find, I hop out of the caves with my spirits high and continue the hunt for things I'll need from the surface world. Not long after we leave the caves, we find some lovely beefalo, and of course, me being me, I'm gonna befriend them and not murder them. No, I lied. I use my shadow duelist here to murder a beefalo to get myself some meat so I can make a hambat. This was my first time rushing the ruins as Maxwell, and generally what you want to do with him is tame a beefalo and bring it to the ruins, because while riding the beefalo, any damage you would take goes to the beefalo instead of your character, which is great for Maxwell because of his low health. But honestly, while it's worth it, I find taming beefalos tedious, so I just couldn't be bothered, so this is me going to the ruins without taming a beefalo. Probably not the smartest idea because you're faster while riding the beefalo and it takes all the damage for you, but you do have to constantly feed it. If I were to make another video doing this with Maxwell, I would do it on a beefalo and just rely on my shadow duelist to do 90% of the damage. Anyway, after I killed the beefalo, I stumbled across this lovely pig house, so naturally I destroy it and use its resources for my own gain. After I make my essentials, being a handbat, football helmet, and lantern, I decide to prototype a log suit, just in case I want to use it in the ruins. I don't actually remember if I do or not, so I guess we'll cross that bridge when we get there. After a little bit of lovely deforestation, I continue on my merry way. Who doesn't love a little bit of piggy genocide? After that lovely pig slaughtering session, we have plenty of pigskin to keep us well with handbats and football helmets. So now I'm pretty much just exploring the world, mainly looking for the deciduous biome so I can find myself pig king and have a steady supply of pigskin and meat. After exploring for the rest of day 4, I decide to dump some of my stuff at the portal so I can come back and get it later. I don't really know why I built a chest here, it would have been just as fine just chucking it on the floor, but I guess I was worried about moles or something. Ugh. After watching the beautiful act of a toolbird laying an egg, I decide it's time to go back into the caves, and I go into the sinkhole that led to the blue mushroom biome, because now I'm looking to get blue mushrooms for healing as well as living logs so I can craft everything I need to craft at the ruins. Because one of the most important things from the ruins, the Star Cooler staff, requires living logs to make it. Hooray, now we have 40 mushrooms. Now I actually think I made a mistake here. I think the mushrooms should have been the last thing I do, as living logs don't go bad, but mushrooms do. And later the mushrooms going stale will prove to be a bit of a problem, but that's okay. We quickly find the Lunar Grotto, and I ate some blue mushrooms to drop my sanity, because sanity is swapped in the Lunar Grotto. Instead of sanity, you have an enlightenment meter, and for the sake of this video, all you need to know, high enlightenment bad, low enlightenment good. Basically the exact opposite of sanity. What's that? Is that a little mushroom? Let's summon some shadow duelists to take it out. These spinny little fellas can drop 1 to 2 living logs. We got lucky here and I believe every single one dropped 2, so yeah. If I remember correctly, I was looking to get about 6 living logs before I headed to the ruins. Now you gotta be a bit careful with these guys, unlike I was, because when they spin, they drop these little spores, and each one only does 2 damage a hit, but the damage really stacks up and it can actually hurt a lot. Something I forgot to mention earlier is we'll need nightmare fuel, and a lot of it. One, the item Maxwell spawns with, the Codex Umbra, requires nightmare fuel to recharge it. And pretty much every single recipe in the ruins also requires nightmare fuel. The main way of getting nightmare fuel is from nightmare creatures which spawn when you're insane. But luckily, I have no trouble going insane, both intentionally and unintentionally, and Maxwell can force himself to go insane by spamming his Codex Umbra abilities. So we're going to be insane a lot, which leads to some bad situations, but hey, on the bright side, we get tons of nightmare fuel. Now with blue mushrooms and living logs handy, I decided it's time to find my way to the ruins. So right here you can see me looking on the map. This is me trying to deduct where the ruins might be based on what I've explored in the caves already. You can see me there spinning my mouse. I think that's me guessing where the archives might be. And based off of that and where the other cave entrance is, I get a vague idea of where the ruins might be, or at least enough information to find them pretty fast. Mainly thanks to guides on YouTube, because Don't Starve Together is one of those games where I think YouTube guides are really good for it, and definitely don't ruin the fun of the game. So I would highly recommend, if you want to get into this game, again, watching some YouTube guides. I'll link some good YouTubers for this game in the description. So after looking at the map of the cave, I figured that the other cave entrance we found is a better place to start from to get to the ruins.
Okay, actually, that makes a lot of sense for if this is like a triangle shape for the ruins to be up this direction somewhere.
So that is the direction we head in, and oh, what is that? A little fishbowl? Hello, Hutch. If you don't know who Hutch is a cave version of Chester, and if you don't know who Chester is, well, that's on you. So after we find Hutch, I continue to head up the rocky/muddy biome because I can taste the ruins on the tip of my tongue. Ooh, and what's this? Nightmare fishes? If you don't know what nightmare fishes are, well, they're what they sound like. They're little fishes in the ground that spawn nightmare creatures. Now, the sight of these in the slurper, for me, pretty much confirms that we're right next to the ruins entrance. The ruins entrance is a disgusting place filled with spelunkies and spiders and slurpers. I make the most out of the nightmare phase being on right now, and cull the nightmare creatures for some nightmare fuel, because you can never have too much nightmare fuel. After the nightmare phase is over, I can finally head deeper and get attacked by a depth worm, which is the cave's version of hound attacks. And would you look at that, we make it to the entrance of the ruins at the beginning of day 8, so not the best for time. I reckon if I didn't faff around so much, I could have made it like midway through day 6 to the end of day 7, but it's okay. Of course, we have to pop a slurper real quick. If anyone would send me a plushie of a slurper, that would be, greatly appreciated. Anyway, I smash some Thulsite walls and then get a slurp on my head. Lovely. Gotta take you out too. Sorry, buddy. Something I didn't do in this ruins run, but I'd recommend doing, is bringing a torch and just burning down the monkey houses. You can also hammer them down, but when you burn them down, it gives yourself light for you to hammer the Thulsite walls and collect Thulsite. Because the problem with a lantern in the ruins entrance is that the spelunkies, as you can see here, pick up whatever's on the ground and can also take stuff out of hatch, which can be super annoying. So if you put your lantern on the ground and that's your only source of light and the monkeys take it, you're pretty much dead. So here I'm just hammering some Thulsite walls to get Thulsite fragments. You can turn 6 Thulsite fragments, or is it 4? Hang on. How many Thulsite fragments to make Thulsite? Okay, it's 6. To make one piece of Thulsite, you need 6 Thulsite fragments and an ancient pseudoscience station. Thulsite is the main crafting material of the ruins, and you need it for, I think, every single craft you can make from the ancient pseudoscience machine. Just make sure when you're hammering walls in the entrance to pick up that Thulsite quick, because the monkeys will take it. So after hammering a couple more Thulsite walls, I come across this little piece of Thulsite on a pillar. So the idea with these normally is that you make a lazy forager at the pseudoscience station, and with that you can pick them up. But certain characters have little gimmicks which allow them to get it, like with Maxwell, you can use your Codex Umbra, summon some Shadow Servants, and they can walk over the void and grab the item for you, which helps make Maxwell a pretty good Ruins Rush character. Now at this point I'm still at the entrance of the ruins, so I gotta delve deeper to get to the actual ruins, but the nightmare phase starts, so all the spelunkies turn into Shadow spelunkies. So now they don't steal my items, which is good, but instead they now attack me, and they normally come at you in massive swarms, which really sucks. But here what I do, I drop Hatch and kind of sacrifice him to the spelunkies. Then I use the light from the statue to kill the few spelunkies that are still aggroed onto me. So rest in peace, Hutch, your sacrifice will not be forgotten. The next in-game day or so is mostly me collecting items from the ruins. I grab some gems from the pillars, I mine a few statues. I fight off many pain-in-my-ass nightmare creatures and broken clockworks. And after all that faffing about, I come across a small patch of muddy biome, which is a very good indicator that you have found the ruins maze, which is protected by the ancient guardian, who is the boss we're going to be fighting down here. Now, the ruins maze isn't too big of an issue, but it's nothing to be scoffed at. It's a maze which is scattered with chests and dangling spiders' webs. The chests can hold some pretty decent loot, like Thulsite, gems, nightmare fuel. I've seen bat-bats in there, ice staffs, things like that. But the loot isn't anything that you'll have trouble getting after you leave the ruins, so I wouldn't stress looting all the chests. But if you come across them, obviously it doesn't hurt to get the loot from them. The dangling spiders can be a pain, but if you just stay on the edge of the webs, then there'll be no slowdowns from the spiders' webs, and you won't trigger them to come out. So as long as you stay on the edge of the webs like this, you'll be fine. There's also a couple damaged clockworks scattered throughout the maze, so just be wary of those. But again, they're not too bad to deal with. You can pretty much just run and you'll be fine. Or at least that's what I did. But that's enough of that. Let's get to the main event, the Ancient Guardian. Now he always spawns spawns somewhere in the middle of the maze, and I'm actually using a popular mod, boss indicators here, so it kind of tells me where he is. But regardless, he's not very hard to find. The hardest bit is finding the maze itself, but once you found that, just head towards where you think the middle of the maze is. I did this fight with just a lantern, but it's honestly a very good idea to come with a star cooler staff if you can make one before going here. To make the staff, you have to find the ancient pseudoscience machine I mentioned before, and this can be a broken one, which you repair with 6 Thulsite, or there's one fully repaired one, which is guaranteed somewhere in the caves. But normally, I either just go straight to the ancient guardian with a lantern, or repair one myself, because finding the fully repaired one while you're on a time crunch can be a hassle sometimes. As you can see, I start the fight by spawning my shadow duelist. You can also see that they're attacking nightmare creatures. This is a mod I was playing with. They do not do that normally. This mod's cool because it can help with nightmare creatures. You can tinker it too if you think it's too overpowered, but I'd recommend just playing Maxwell without it, just because the nightmare creatures can be attacked even when you're not insane. As long as they're on your screen, your shadows will attack them, causing the nightmare creatures to aggro onto you. But anyway, the fight goes not the most smoothly. This isn't a very hard fight in my opinion, but you know, I'm not very good at the game, so. My plan for this fight was pretty much hide behind the pillar and keep recasting my shadow duelists whenever they die, and to also use one of the Codex Umbra abilities I haven't mentioned, which is a prison. This lasts for less time on bosses, but honestly still lasts a pretty significant amount of time. What this prison does is just hold the Ancient Guardian in place for about 5 seconds. I think it's the same for other bosses, and for regular enemies, it's about 15 seconds. This is especially useful against his second stage, where he jumps into the air and slams the ground wherever you are. But yeah, you see those blue mushrooms there? So, I took a little bit too long getting to the Ancient Guardian, and they went stale. So now instead of healing 20 health per mushroom, it heals something like 6.8, I think it was. And I still lose the same amount of sanity per mushroom eaten, so yeah, not the best. But luckily I found a bat in one of the ornate chests, so I mainly relied on this for healing for most of the fight. Now I'm just gonna let y'all watch the rest of this messy fight.
Oh! Okay, I don't know how Oh, it does so much damage. So low. Oh, they're just gonna kill him. Alright, fuck yeah.
Alright, after that pretty mundane fight, now we get to see all the goodies. I mean, sure, that's pretty good. Ideally, we get a lazy forager, but I'm not complaining. So then we snag up all the goodies, and oh, look, Hutch! Hey, thanks for waiting. He miraculously came back to life after being slaughtered by a bunch of splamunkies.
Hutch? Bye, buddy.
So with the help of Hutch, we find the only repaired ancient pseudoscience machine in the ruins that I mentioned earlier. And with the help of our shadow duelist, proceed to murder all the damaged clockworks as Hutch watches in awe. After that, we go over to the pseudoscience machine and get to crafting. I make a bunch of stuff which past vlogging will show when we get out of the caves. Oh, try and say that 5 times fast. But there's a couple little neat tricks I think I should mention. So to start, I recommend making a construction amulet. While you're wearing this, every crafting recipe in the game takes half the materials. So if something takes 10 wood to make, it'll only take 5. Then I recommend making a deconstruction staff. Then either making the stuff you most need or the stuff you have the least materials for. So for example, if you want to make a ton of thulsite clubs, but you only have the materials to make 1 or 2, you can make the club with the construction amulet, which will take half the materials, but when you deconstruct it, you'll get all the materials back as if you weren't wearing the construction amulet. Okay, let's get out of these caves. Holy stress. So we ended with 3 thulsite clubs, or 2 thulsite clubs. So I was gonna lay it all out, but you know what, fucking hell. Can't be far. 2 thulsite, no, 3 thulsite. I can't speak. Oh, yeah, you know what? This guy's an idiot. I'm gonna do it instead. So we left the ruins with 16 gears, 4 purple gems, 8 red gems, 1 blue gem, 2 thulsite clubs, 2 thulsite bodies, 3 thulsite clowns, 1 lazy forager, 3 starcaller staffs, 1 magiluminescence, 1 deconstruction staff, and 1 construction amulet. But that was it. That was how a noob rushes the ruins as Maxwell in Don't Starve Together. This video took a bit of effort to make, especially with the free software I'm using. So if you did enjoy, please do the YouTuber things, you know, the like, subscribe, because I'm actually quite proud of this video. I'm watching it back now, editing, and I think I've done alright. So I'm just glad to get this out. So thank you for watching, I appreciate it. If you made it this far, I'm shocked, because I wouldn't have. Thank you, love you, goodbye.